The situation in El Obeid is grave after more than 2 years of siege, drone attacks, rape and food shortages. It comes less than a year since the horrific siege in the city of Al Fasher, further to the west. There, tens of thousands were killed in a genocidal massacre carried out by the RSF militia. The Sudan war has not received the same attention as conflicts in Ukraine, Gaza, Lebanon, but the suffering there has been on a scale that is hard to overstate. In more than 3 years of conflict, hundreds of thousands of people have been killed, possibly as many as 1 million. It's estimated that 15 million people have been forced to flee, and nearly 25 million people currently face acute hunger. One leading authority on Sudan says the war has upended the lives of millions.
You're talking about the largest displacement crisis in the world, with an amount of people equal to Metro New York and the 5 boroughs have run for their lives. And then you have the largest food security crisis in the world. So we're in the hundreds of thousands, right? If I was to say a million, I probably wouldn't be wrong, but it would be a make-em-up number. The fact is that it is so devastating that after this war is done, we will go back and attempt to do household surveys in places like Khartoum and Omdurman and Sinnar and Jazeera, and there won't be enough households left to survey. So that's the level of destruction we're talking about.
Despite those horrifying statistics, the West and other powers stand accused of ignoring the conflict, but worse than that, of meddling in the war and taking sides. Less than a year ago, Sky News reported evidence that the RSF, one of the groups fighting this war, was being supported by the United Arab Emirates, a key Gulf ally of Britain's. Claims the Gulf state was funneling weapons to the rebels, including armoured vehicles. British military technology and parts are also reportedly ending up on the battlefield in Sudan, having been supplied to the UAE. The UAE has always denied any military involvement in the war, but Nathaniel Raymond from Yale University says that is nonsense. Everyone knows it, and Britain's new Prime Minister should have the courage to say so.
Prime Minister Burnham should walk out in front of 10 Downing Street and say one sentence. The United Kingdom and its allies have concluded that the UAE is arming the Rapid Support Forces, who have been credibly accused of committing a genocide in Al Fasher.
The Sudanese government says the UAE is complicit in the genocide underway in its country. The British government's been accused of failing to act on repeated warnings of genocide in Sudan. Overlooked and ignored for too long, Sudan's civil war has become one of this century's most destructive conflicts. After 3 years of fighting, this is the state of play. The SAF, or Sudanese Armed Forces, control much of the east of the country and have clawed back parts of the central areas. RSF paramilitaries control these huge areas in the west. The conflict has not attracted the same amount of international attention as other wars, while the UK's Disasters Emergency Committee, for instance, has raised hundreds of millions of pounds for victims of conflicts in Ukraine, Gaza and Lebanon. There has still been no DEC appeal for Sudan. And concern is mounting for the millions trapped in El Obeid as the situation there worsens, prompting G7 nations to issue a new warning, urging the Sudanese armed forces, the Rapid Support Forces and allied armed groups to immediately cease hostilities and engage in direct negotiations in good faith. The same calls we've heard for more than 3 years now have fallen on deaf ears, and the war has only deepened.